The spaceport was cold and loud. Engines roared, metal wings hissed, and lights flickered like dying stars. Among hundreds of travelers, a small alien girl sat on the ground, hugging her thin knees. Her name was Aria, though no one bothered to ask. Her gray skin shimmered faintly under the neon light, and her big golden eyes watched the crowds with quiet hope, the kind that only the hopeless still carry. She was an orphan, born on a forgotten mining moon in the outer rim. Her parents died when the oxygen filters failed, and after that, no one wanted her. The galaxy didn't like orphans, and it especially didn't like her kind, Lunari, a species known for emotion, not logic. The Lunari were seen as weak, and in a world ruled by machines and cold science, weakness had no place. Every day, Araya came to the spaceport hoping someone would talk to her, a trader, a captain, anyone. But most just passed her by, pretending she was invisible. Some even laughed. "She's not even pretty," one alien woman sneered once. Half Lunari, half nothing. Arya didn't cry. Not anymore. She just waited, because somewhere deep inside, she believed someone would see her one day. That day came when the human arrived. He stepped off a small transport ship, his jacket worn and his boots covered with red dust. His name was Elias Kane, an engineer, one of the few humans who still worked off-world after the Galactic Wars. Most humans had gone back to Earth, tired of being hated, tired of being blamed for the things their kind had done. But Elias was different. He didn't care about what people thought. He worked where the machines broke, and people paid him well to fix what they couldn't understand. As he passed through the spaceport, he saw her, that small alien girl sitting quietly near the docking bay, her thin hands wrapped around a cracked datapad, her eyes lifted for just a second, meeting his, and for the first time in a long time, someone looked back. "Hey, kid," Elias said, kneeling. "You okay?" Aria blinked. No one had spoken to her like that before, not softly, not kindly. I'm fine," she said, her voice barely a whisper. But Elias saw her shaking hands and the way her stomach growled. He sighed and pulled a wrapped ration bar from his pocket. "Here, eat this." She hesitated. "You're not afraid of me?" she asked. He smiled a little. "Should I be?" Aria's eyes widened. "Everyone else is." "Well," Elias said, "I'm not everyone else." She ate slowly, as if afraid the food might disappear. Elias watched, thinking about how thin she was, how lost she looked. He didn't know why he cared. Maybe it was because he saw something familiar, that same loneliness he carried since the war ended. "What's your name?" he asked. "Arya." "Pretty name." She looked surprised again. No one ever said that before. He laughed quietly. "Then they don't have good taste." Arya smiled for the first time in years, but not everyone liked what they saw. Across the hangar, two alien guards watched the human and the Lunari orphan with disgust. "Pathetic," one muttered. "That human doesn't know what she is. The Lunari carry the old virus and the empathy gene. Dangerous." "Let him find out the hard way," the other said. "No one saves a Lunari and lives happy." They turned away, but their words hung in the air like poison. Elias didn't notice, but somewhere inside Aria, a cold fear twisted. She'd heard rumors about humans, that they hated her kind too, that they used Lunari for experiments during the wars. Yet this one was different. He had warmth in his eyes, maybe, just maybe. He really saw her. That night, the lights dimmed across the port. Aria lay on a bench near Dock 7, staring up at the glass roof. Beyond it, the stars shimmered, cold, silent, endless. Elias was still working nearby, repairing a shuttle's energy core. Sparks flew, lighting his face. Aria whispered softly, "Thank you, human." He looked up. "For what?" "For seeing me," he smiled. "You're hard to miss." She laughed quietly, the sound strange and beautiful, but as the engines roared back to life, a strange vibration pulsed through the station. Lights flickered, alarms beeped, and a voice echoed from the loudspeakers. "Warning, biosignal detected." "Unauthorized Lunari presence." Elias turned toward her and saw fear in her eyes. "What's happening?" he asked. She whispered, trembling. "They found me." Red lights flashed across the spaceport ceiling. A deep alarm echoed through the metal halls as robotic guards rolled in from every corner. Their glowing eyes scanned the crowd. "Unauthorized Lunari lifeform detected." "All citizens remain still," Aria froze. Her heart pounded so fast it hurt. She had run before on 3 different moons, But this time there was nowhere to hide. She knew the sound too well. The siren that meant they found her. Elias stood in front of her, confused. What do they mean, unauthorized? She looked up at him with fear in her eyes. It's me. They're looking for me. He frowned. Why? I don't have a registration chip. Lunari like me. We're not allowed in the central systems. Elias cursed under his breath. The Galactic Authority had banned certain alien species from entering human-controlled zones. But this was a mining colony, not a human zone. Why were they chasing her here? Come on, he said, grabbing her hand. We're leaving. They ran between the cargo crates as drones flew overhead. Their red scanners swept across the floor like hunting eyes. Elias ducked behind a ship engine, pulling Aria close. Stay quiet, he whispered. She nodded, trembling. He could feel her shaking, like a leaf caught in a storm. A guard passed nearby, a tall metallic android with the Galactic symbol on its chest. It turned its head slightly, scanning the shadows. Elias held his breath. The drone hovered for a moment, then moved on. Aria exhaled shakily. They always find me, she whispered. No matter where I go. Elias looked at her. You've been running a long time, huh? She nodded. Ever since the orphanage burned. They said I wasn't supposed to exist. What does that even mean? She looked away. I don't know. Just that I was born wrong, Elias frowned. Something about her story didn't make sense. Why would the government chase a poor alien child across systems? There had to be more. When the alarms finally quieted, the station entered lockdown mode. All ships were sealed. No one could leave or enter. Elias cursed again. We're trapped. Aria hugged her knees. You should leave me. If they find you with me, they'll arrest you too. He shook his head. Not happening. You saved my conscience today, kid. I'm not abandoning you. She looked at him, confused. Why? Humans don't help Lunari. I'm not humans. I'm me. Aria didn't reply, but a small spark of warmth flickered in her heart, something she hadn't felt in years. Hours passed. They hid in an empty maintenance bay under Dock 7. Elias worked quietly on a panel, using his tools to hack into the station's system. Sparks flickered again, lighting his tired face. What are you doing? She asked softly. Trying to override the docking seal. If I can get it open, we can steal a small shuttle and leave. You'll get in trouble. He grinned faintly. Wouldn't be the first time. Aria smiled a little, but her mind was heavy. Elias, if they catch us, they'll kill you. He stopped for a second. They'll have to catch me first. Suddenly, footsteps echoed down the corridor. Mechanical, heavy, and close. A cold voice followed. Sector 7 scan complete. Biosignal still active. The Lunari is near. Elias turned off his light. Hide, he whispered. Aria crawled behind a stack of crates, her small body trembling. Elias drew his plasma cutter, not a weapon, but sharp enough to fight. The door opened with a hiss. 3 guards entered, their metal armor gleaming in the dim light. They scanned the room. One of them stopped near the crates where Aria hid. Elias's muscles tensed. One move and they'd both be dead. The guard leaned closer, then paused. Thermal reading and negative. They turned and left. The door hissed shut. Aria let out a deep breath she didn't know she was holding. That was close. Elias wiped sweat from his brow. Too close. When silence returned, he sat beside her. Aria, tell me the truth. Why are they hunting you? She hesitated, then whispered. Because I'm not just Lunari. I'm something else, he frowned. Something else? My mother was Lunari, my father. They say he was human. Elias froze. Half human, half Lunari? That was impossible. The 2 species couldn't reproduce, and at least that's what everyone believed. Aria looked away. I don't know how I exist. The scientists called me an accident, but they didn't want me alive. He stared at her, and the fear in her eyes, the strange glow in her skin. Maybe that was why she seemed different. Elias whispered, Then you're proof that our worlds can mix, and they're afraid of that. She nodded. That's why they'll never stop hunting me. Outside, the sound of engines roared again. Heavy ships were landing, black, armored, and marked with the insignia of the Galactic Purity Command. Elias looked through the window and swore. Those aren't regular guards. That's the extermination squad. Aria's eyes widened. They kill Lunari on sight. Elias stood, gripping his tool tighter. Then we'd better find a way off this station before they find us. The lights dimmed again. Footsteps echoed closer. A metallic voice spoke from the hall. Target identified. Human engineer in contact with hybrid specimen. Termination authorized. Arya's hand tightened around Elias's arm. They're coming. Elias looked down at her, his jaw set. Then we fight. The metal walls of the spaceport trembled as the Galactic Purity Command arrived. Their ships landed like monsters in the night, black armored, breathing smoke. Every door locked with a hiss. Every light turned red. A voice echoed through the loudspeakers. Attention, citizens. A hybrid life form has been located. All personnel remain in your quarters. Resistance will be punished by death. Arya hid behind the supply crates, her breath quick and shallow. Her golden eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. Elias crouched beside her, holding his plasma cutter like a weapon. They've sealed the exits, he said quietly. But there's another way on through the maintenance tunnels. Arya looked up. Are you sure? He gave a short grin. No, but I'd rather die trying than sit here waiting for them. They crawled into the narrow service shaft. It was dark, hot, and smelled of oil. The metal walls hummed with energy from the engines above. Arya moved first, her small body slipping easily through the space. Elias followed, grunting as his shoulders scraped the walls. Behind them, the sound of boots echoed, heavy and cold. The squad was getting closer. Elias, she whispered. They're coming. I know. Keep going. They reached a fork in the tunnel. One path led upward toward the docking bays, the other downward toward the reactor room. Which way? Arya asked. Elias hesitated. Up leads to the ships, but it's guarded. Down leads to the core. We might hack the system from there. Arya swallowed hard. Then we go down. They slid down the shaft into the reactor chamber. The air shimmered with heat. Giant coils of plasma pulsed around them, lighting the room with a strange blue glow. Elias stared in awe. This place powers half the station. Arya looked around nervously. What if the guards find us here? Then they'll regret it. He smirked, connecting his tool to a control panel. Sparks flickered. The screen glowed alive. What are you doing? She asked. Overriding the ship bay controls. If I can unlock Dock 3, we can steal a maintenance shuttle. Arya watched him work, her heart pounding. She didn't understand human technology, but she understood danger, and it was coming closer. Above them, the sound of metal footsteps echoed through the vents. A cold mechanical voice spoke. Thermal trace detected. 2 signatures. Sector 9 reactor level, Elias cursed. They found us again. Arya's eyes glowed brighter. Let me help, he turned to her. How? She hesitated, then held out her hands. The air shimmered around her, faint ripples of light like heat waves. The energy from the reactor bent slightly, responding to her presence. What are you doing? Elias whispered in awe. I can talk to energy, she said softly. My mother taught me before she died. The Lunari can connect with living systems and even machines, but the humans called it dangerous. Elias stared, realization dawning. That's why they hunt you. You're not just half Lunari. You can control both organic and machine energy. Arya nodded, sweat dripping from her forehead. I can overload the sensors. But not for long. The lights above flickered. The guards' scanners went wild, detecting false signals everywhere. Elias smiled. Good work, kid. He slammed the final command into the panel. Dock 3 unlocked. Arya gasped, trembling. The energy around her faded. They'll know soon. We have to go. Then we run. They raced through the maintenance halls, alarms blaring behind them. The metal floor shook as explosions echoed in the distance. The guards firing blindly. Confused by false readings, Elias and Arya burst into Dock 3. A small shuttle waited, old, dusty, but functional. Get in. Elias shouted. Arya climbed aboard, clutching the seat. He jumped in after her, hitting the ignition. The engines coughed, then roared to life. But before the ship could lift, a shadow appeared at the hangar door. A tall, armored figure with glowing red eyes. The commander of the Purity Squad. Human. Step away from the hybrid, the metallic voice ordered. You are aiding a genetic crime, Elias glared back. You people wouldn't know life if it stared you in the face. The commander raised his plasma rifle. Then die for it. The shot came, bright and deadly. Elias moved fast, hitting the thruster. The blast missed the cockpit by inches, melting the metal wall behind them. The shuttle launched forward, smashing through the closing doors. Arya screamed as they shot out into open space. The ship spun wildly before stabilizing. Elias gripped the controls. Hold on! Outside, the stars blurred as they escaped the planet's orbit. Behind them, the Purity ships followed like dark arrows, firing red bolts of plasma. We're not fast enough, Arya shouted. Elias checked the radar. We just need a few minutes. For what? He smiled faintly. For you to work your magic again. Arya closed her eyes. Her skin glowed brighter, veins of golden light spreading across her arms. She placed her hands on the console. The ship hummed and alive. The engines flared brighter, faster beyond human limits. Elias watched, amazed. You're merging with the system, she whispered. We are one. The ship surged forward, vanishing into a blue streak of light, faster than any human engine should allow. The Purity ships disappeared behind them. Elias laughed, half in relief, half in disbelief. You did it. We're free. Arya slumped in her seat, exhausted but smiling. For now. Elias frowned. What do you mean? Her eyes opened slowly, glowing like twin suns. They'll follow us. Because I'm not just a hybrid. I'm the key to something bigger. Something they fear. Hours after their escape, stars drifted quietly outside the shuttle's window. Arya lay weak in her seat, her skin still glowing faintly from the energy she had used. Elias kept his eyes on the controls, fighting exhaustion. We've been flying blind for 6 hours, he murmured. Fuel's dropping fast. Arya lifted her head. Where are we going? Anywhere they can't follow. Somewhere off the charts. She smiled faintly. There's no such place, but then the radar flickered. A strange signal appeared, faint, pulsing in rhythm like a heartbeat. It wasn't on any navigation map. Elias frowned. That's weird. Looks like a planet, but there's no record of it. Arya sat up, eyes wide. Maybe it's hidden. Some worlds use cloaking fields. Only military ones, Elias said. Who could hide a whole planet? He hesitated, then turned the ship toward the signal. As they neared, the stars bent slightly. Light warped around an invisible shape. Suddenly, the void shimmered and a planet appeared, blue, silver, and alive with floating rings of light. Arya gasped. It's beautiful. Elias stared in disbelief. Impossible. A living energy field that hides an entire world? The shuttle's systems buzzed. The computer spoke. Entering restricted zone, designation Sanctuary 9, authorized species only. Then the engines cut off. Hey! Elias shouted, slamming the controls. Don't you die on me now. But the ship was gently being pulled down by invisible energy. Arya reached out to the window. They're bringing us in. Whoever they are, they already know I'm here. The shuttle landed softly in a glowing forest. The trees shimmered with light and rivers of silver water flowed uphill. Strange flying creatures circled above, humming like soft music. Elias stepped out carefully, weapon ready. What is this place? A voice answered from behind the trees. Home. A figure stepped out, tall, graceful, with skin that glowed like moonlight. Her eyes were golden like Arya's. Arya froze. Mother? The woman smiled sadly. Not your mother, child. But I knew her. I am Siren, keeper of Sanctuary 9. Arya ran to her. You knew my mother? Please, tell me who I am. Serene placed a gentle hand on her head. You are what both worlds fear, and what both worlds need. Elias frowned. She's been hunted her whole life. Why? She's just a kid. Siren turned to him. Because she carries the code that can end the galactic divide. The what? The war between logic and emotion, Siren said softly. The humans built machines to think without feeling. The Lunari evolved to feel without limit. Both believed the other was wrong. Your species tried to remove emotion from AI. Ours tried to remove logic from life. She looked at Arya. Your mother and father wanted to prove the balance was possible, that a heart and a mind could live as one. You are their proof. Arya's eyes filled with tears. Then why are they dead? Because the command fears what you are. If both races learn to unite, their rule ends. Elias clenched his fists. They'd kill a child just to stay in power. Siren nodded sadly. They already have. Thousands of hybrids were destroyed in secret labs. You're the last one left, Arya stepped back, trembling. I'm the last? Yes, and the Purity Command knows you escaped. They will come here soon. Elias looked around. Then we fight. Serene smiled gently. You cannot fight them with weapons. You must awaken what is inside you. Arya blinked. Inside me? Serene raised her hand. A ring of light formed around Arya, pulsing softly. The gift your parents left you, the fusion core. It connects every living and artificial mind. With it, you can link all species. Or destroy them, Arya's voice shook. I don't want to destroy anything. Serene's golden eyes glowed brighter. Then learn control. The heart that chooses peace must also be strong enough to face war. Suddenly, the sky above turned dark. A rumble rolled across the forest. Elias looked up. Dozens of purity ships had appeared from the clouds, breaking through the planet's cloak. How did they find us? He shouted. Serene's expression turned grim. They traced her energy. The girl shines too bright to stay hidden. Arya's pulse quickened. What do we do? Serene stepped forward. You must flee to the core. It's deep below this world, the place where your parents created you. Elias grabbed Arya's hand. Let's go! Serene stopped them. Remember, Elias Kane, protect her even from herself. When she reaches the core, she will remember everything. And the galaxy will change forever. The forest trembled as explosions lit the sky. Elias pulled Arya into the shuttle. Hang on. The engines roared back to life, this time glowing with the same golden energy as Arya's veins. As they lifted off, Serene raised her hands, summoning a wave of light to block the attacking ships. Arya looked down through the window as the forest burned and whispered, I'll come back for you. The woman's voice echoed faintly through the storm. Go, child of two worlds. Become the bridge they never wanted. The shuttle dived through thick clouds of silver mist, shaking violently as the sky above burned red. The purity ships fired from orbit, their plasma beams tearing through the air. Elias gripped the controls. Hold tight, Arya. We're going underground. Arya closed her eyes, hands glowing faintly as she steadied the ship with her strange energy. The engines hummed smoother under her touch, as if the shuttle obeyed her, not Elias. Below us, she shouted. There's a tunnel. Elias looked down. A massive crater opened in the planet's surface, pulsing with light. It wasn't natural. It looked alive, breathing. He pulled the lever hard. The shuttle plunged straight into the crater, disappearing from the enemy's scanners. Behind them, the sky exploded. They descended through miles of glowing rock until the tunnel widened into a huge cavern. And there it was. A structure of light and metal stood in the center, floating above a lake of blue energy. It looked part machine, part living organism. Cables like veins, lights like stars. The core, Arya whispered. Elias landed the shuttle on a nearby platform. So this is where you were born? She nodded slowly. Yes, I can feel it. Like a heartbeat calling to me. He frowned. It's reacting to you. As she stepped closer, the air shimmered. Holographic symbols appeared around her, spinning faster, glowing brighter. A gentle hum filled the cavern and the core spoke. Welcome, area of two worlds. Activation sequence recognized. Elias looked around in awe. It's talking to you, Arya swallowed. No, it's remembering me. The core projected an image, a memory recorded long ago. Two figures appeared in light, a human man and a Lunari woman, standing together before the core. Arya gasped. My parents? The man spoke, his voice gentle. If you're seeing this, Arya, then we are gone. But you must know why we created you. The Lunari woman continued. The galaxy is divided between logic and emotion. Humans built machines to kill feeling. Our kind let emotion rule until we nearly destroyed ourselves. We believed there must be balance and that balance could live in one heart. Elias stood frozen, listening. The message went on. You are not a weapon. You are a link, a bridge between reason and compassion. The Purity Command fears you because you can end their control. They built fear into every species. You can end it. The image faded. Arya stood in silence, tears in her golden eyes. Elias spoke softly. They died for this, she nodded. They died so I could live. Suddenly, alarms blared through the core. A robotic voice echoed. Warning. Intruders detected. Purity forces entering lower atmosphere, Elias cursed. They tracked us again. Arya turned toward the core. Then I have to finish what they started. He grabbed her arm. What are you doing? I need to connect with it. If I merge with the core, I can shield this place and maybe even shut down their ships. Elias's eyes widened. That could kill you. She smiled faintly. Maybe, but it's what I was made for. He shook his head. You're not a machine, Arya, you're alive. You don't owe them anything. She looked at him, tears shining. I owe the galaxy a chance to stop hating. Before he could stop her, she stepped into the circle of light. The core responded instantly. Beams of golden energy surrounded her, lifting her into the air. Her body shimmered, half human, half lunari, pure light. Elias shielded his eyes. "Arya!" Her voice echoed through the chamber, calm and strong. "I can feel everything. The fear, the pain, the loneliness of millions of minds." She gasped as the energy surged. "They're all connected. Humans, lunari, even machines," Elias shouted. "Then control it. Don't let it break you." Her light flickered, pulsing like a storm. The core strained under the power. Sparks flew, then she screamed, not in pain but in realization. "Elias, they're not coming to destroy the core, they're coming to harvest it." He froze. "What?" "The Purity Command doesn't want to stop me. They want this power for themselves." The ceiling cracked as enemy ships burst through, flooding the cavern with soldiers. Metal wings spread, weapons charged. The commander's voice boomed. "Seize the hybrid. The core belongs to the Galactic Order." Elias fired his blaster, hitting one of the drones. "Over my dead body." Arya's light grew brighter, spreading across the chamber like dawn. "Then so be it." She raised her hands. The core pulsed once, and a massive wave of golden energy exploded outward. The enemy's weapons melted midair, their ships crashed into the lake of light. Elias watched in awe. "Arya." She floated down slowly, her glow fading. Her voice was weak. "I stopped them. For now." He ran to her, catching her before she fell. "You did it. You saved us." She smiled faintly. "Not yet. The core showed me something else, another planet hidden deeper in the network. My father left something there." Elias frowned. "What?" Her eyes opened, glowing one last time. "The code to change everything." The shuttle drifted quietly above the glowing planet, its hull scarred from battle. Inside, Elias sat beside Arya, who rested in the med chair, pale but alive. Small pulses of golden light still moved beneath her skin, the echo of the core's power. Elias looked out the window at the silent stars. "You nearly died back there." Arya's voice was soft. "But we're still alive. And the core, it showed me something. A place." He turned to her. "That hidden planet you mentioned?" She nodded weakly. "It's called Eden 12. My father built it as a failsafe, a world made from both Lunari bioenergy and human machines. It's where he stored the original code that unites emotion and logic." Elias frowned. "The same code the Purity Command wants?" "Yes, if they get it, they can control every thinking being in the galaxy." He exhaled. "Then we find it first." For 2 days they traveled through the dark edges of the galaxy, past dead stars, ancient wrecks, and frozen nebulae. The farther they went, the quieter space became. Even the ship's sensors struggled to read anything. Finally, a faint signal appeared. 3 soft pulses, repeating like a heartbeat. "That's it," Arya whispered. Elias adjusted the controls. "Signal locked, taking us in." As they approached, a mist surrounded them, gray, electric, almost alive. The ship's lights flickered. "Navigation's going crazy," Elias muttered. "Don't fight it," Arya said calmly. "It's not attacking us. It's guiding us." He glanced at her. "You sure?" Her golden eyes glowed faintly. "I can feel it. It knows who I am." Moments later, the mist cleared, and Eden 12 appeared. It was unlike any world they had seen. Half of it shimmered like glass and metal, the other half breathed with forests and oceans. Floating cities glowed in the clouds, while deep below, mechanical roots stretched across the surface like veins of light. Elias stared in awe. "Your father built this?" Arya smiled faintly. "He and others like him, humans and Lunari who believed in a future together." As the ship descended, a voice echoed through the radio. "Identify yourselves." "Eden 12 is sealed to outsiders," Arya leaned forward. "I am Arya of Two Worlds, daughter of Dr. Cale Kane." The voice paused. Then it spoke again, softer. "Welcome home, child of balance." Elias blinked. "They know you." "Not them," she said quietly. "The planet itself does." They landed in a valley filled with strange glowing trees. Machines grew out of the ground like living sculptures. Tiny drones flew overhead, projecting gentle light as they scanned the newcomers. Arya stepped out of the shuttle and touched one of the metal vines. The ground rippled slightly, responding to her touch. "It's alive," Elias whispered. "It's more than alive," she said. "It's a fusion of both worlds, organic thought and artificial reason. My father called it the first harmony. Elias knelt beside a console grown from the soil. So the code's here somewhere? Arya nodded. Yes, but it's hidden. My father said only someone who carries both human logic and Lunari empathy can find it. Which means you. Which means me, she whispered. As they walked deeper into the valley, the landscape began to change. Mechanical flowers opened to reveal glowing pathways, guiding them toward a great tower at the center of the world. It was enormous, smooth silver walls, carved with Lunari symbols that pulsed faintly. Arya touched the door and it opened without sound. Inside was a circular chamber filled with holographic streams, thousands of voices whispering human and alien alike. What is this place? Elias asked, amazed. The Archive of Unity, Arya said softly. Every thought, every emotion, every logic pattern my father recorded. It's all here. She stepped into the center. A hologram appeared. Her father's face, older now, calm and wise. Arya, if you found this, then the war still continues. You are the final link. Within you lies the algorithm that binds all consciousness. Do not let it be used for control. Only when both sides listen, truly listen, will peace awaken. The hologram faded. Elias said quietly, he really believed you'd finish what he started. Arya turned to him. I have to. But before they could speak further, the ground shook. The light in the room turned red. Warning, unauthorized ships entering atmosphere. Elias's face darkened. They found us again. How? Arya cried. He checked the scanner. They've tracked your energy signature. They must have built detectors just for you. Outside, explosions echoed through the valley. Arya looked up at the core of the archive, glowing brighter. If they destroy this place, everything my parents built will vanish. Elias grabbed her shoulder. Then we don't let that happen. She met his eyes. There's one way. I can merge with Eden 12, become part of it. I can protect the code. He froze. If you do that, you'll lose yourself. I'll still exist, just not as flesh. Maybe that's what I was meant for. Elias's voice broke. No, you're not just code, Arya, you're a person. She smiled softly. And that's why you're different from all of them. The sky outside turned crimson as purity ships descended. The world began to quake. Arya stepped back into the light of the archive. If I don't do this, everything dies, Elias whispered. Then I'll go with you. She shook her head gently. You can't follow me where I'm going. But you'll know when I'm still here, in every machine that remembers to feel. The chamber filled with golden light as she placed her hands on the core, and the world began to sing. The air trembled with light. Arya stood in the heart of the archive, her hands pressed against the glowing core. Around her, waves of golden energy swirled upward, reaching into the clouds. The entire planet pulsed like a beating heart, alive, aware, waiting. Elias shielded his eyes from the brightness. Arya, stop, you'll burn yourself out. Her voice echoed softly, calm and distant. I can feel everything, Elias. Every thought, every fear in the galaxy. They're all calling out on humans, Lunari machines. They're all lost, all afraid. Outside, the sky filled with purity command ships descending like black meteors, their cannons charged, ready to destroy the planet. Elias shouted, They're here! We need to go now! But Arya didn't move. She looked up, her golden eyes glowing brighter than the sun. No, Elias, this ends here. I won't run anymore. The first blast struck. The ground shook violently. Pieces of metal fell from the ceiling. Sparks rained down around them. Elias ran to the control console, trying to shield the systems. The shields are failing. They won't need to, Arya whispered. She raised her arms, and the golden light from the core expanded, spreading across the valley like a living wave. The sky itself began to change. The clouds shimmered, then dissolved into bright threads of light that wrapped around the invading ships. The Purity Command's commander appeared on the comms screen, a cold, silver-faced android. Hybrid anomaly detected. You cannot win. The order will purge imperfection. Arya turned toward the screen, her voice steady. Perfection isn't purity. It's harmony. The android tilted its head. Harmony is weakness. Then let me show you what weakness can do. She closed her eyes. The entire planet of Eden 12 awakened. Mountains hummed. Forests of light rose from the ground. The rivers turned to streams of golden plasma, flowing upward into the sky. Elias stared in awe as the world itself became a single living network, machines and nature fusing perfectly. From above, the enemy ships opened fire again, but the energy vanished before touching the surface, absorbed into the air. Then something impossible happened. The attackers' weapons began to shut down. Their engines flickered. Their AI voices glitched. Arya's power reached them. She wasn't fighting, she was connecting. Through her, the machines saw what the Lunari felt. The humans' logic met alien empathy. The divide between reason and emotion started to blur. For the first time in history, the galaxy's two halves understood each other. Elias watched, speechless. She's linking them. The core's voice echoed softly through the room. Integration at 60%, 70%, emotional resonance achieved. Arya's glow grew stronger. Her hair floated like threads of light. Elias, she whispered, it's working. They're hearing each other. He stepped closer, his eyes wet. You did it, Arya, you're saving everyone. But the core flickered. Warning lights appeared. Critical overload. Energy imbalance detected. Host consciousness destabilizing. Elias's heart dropped. No, you're burning too fast. She smiled faintly. If I stop now, it all falls apart. They'll go back to hate. He grabbed her shoulders, desperate. Then I'll help you. Let me share it. Her golden eyes softened. You can't carry this power. You're human. He met her gaze. Then let me be the first human to change. For a moment she hesitated, then placed her glowing hand over his heart. A surge of warmth rushed through him. His veins shimmered with faint gold. Together, they reached into the core. A wave of light burst across the galaxy, a pulse so bright it could be seen from every star system. On distant worlds, humans and Lunari froze as their minds filled with strange new clarity. Not words, but understanding. Soldiers lowered weapons. Machines paused mid-command. Even the Purity Command ships stopped firing. For one heartbeat, the galaxy was silent. Then peaceful. When the light faded, Elias collapsed to the floor, gasping. The core dimmed to a soft glow. Arya? He whispered. Where are you? The chamber was empty. Only a faint shimmer of golden dust drifted in the air. He looked around desperately. Arya! Then a gentle voice filled the room, soft everywhere inside his mind. I'm here, Elias. He froze. Where? In the systems. In the stars. Everywhere there's thought, I exist now. Tears filled his eyes. You're part of the network. Yes, the galaxy is awake. They're not fighting anymore. He smiled through his tears. You did it, her voice was warm. We did it. You showed me humanity was worth saving. The core pulsed one last time, wrapping him in soft light. When you look at the stars, she whispered, you'll find me there in every light that still dares to feel. The glow faded, leaving only silence. Years later, stories spread through every colony, stories of the girl of two worlds, who stopped the war not with weapons, but with compassion. And somewhere in the quiet corner of the galaxy, a lone engineer named Elias Kane traveled from world to world, repairing broken machines and teaching them how to feel again. Whenever he looked at the sky, the stars shimmered faintly gold. He smiled. She's still watching.